Hello everyone and welcome back to my channel once again. So in this series, that is the pivot table series, which we have already started, and now we are in the third video of this. We are going to be looking at a fresh data set. Okay, in the previous video we saw how to refresh the data and how to do that faster, and especially when you have multiple pivots and things like that. Okay, so we are going to extend into that a little bit, and also look at another feature that we are going to see in some time. So we are going to be looking at how to connect slicers to different pivot tables as well. All right, so before we get started, I request you to please subscribe to the channel, and please do put comments on all the videos on them so that I can get a feel of what kind of videos are helpful, what's not helpful, and what other videos I should be making on this channel. All right, so let's continue with the video. And I have a fresh data set from the previous videos. So this is supposed to be a Zara sales data set from the retail brand Zara. And so we have some dimensions over here: the product position, promotion, clothing. Yeah, we only have clothing over here. Zara is the brand, and the various products, description, price of each, currency, and all these things, right? I think terms, do we have? Yes, we have some category called terms as well here. Okay, we also have a section for man, woman. Okay, so we have a simple sales data set over here. Okay, and we're going to start creating pivots over here. So again, the simplest way to do this is go here, go to insert table, and if you see here, this table automatically gets highlighted because we have converted this into a table format, and it is not a simple range that you always end up seeing. Okay, so I'm just going to do that, and it will open up into a new sheet. My PC is a little slow, so that's why. Okay, now, so we have the pivot table over here. So let's start building this. Let me first come here. Yes, that's our uh, the fields box that we have. Okay, so I'm just going to build some simple um, this over here. So let's say I take product promotion. Sales volume is the one field that we have, which is the fact field. Okay, we also have price, but remember, price is unit price. Okay, so what does that mean? So it means that, let's say, if the price shown here against this puffer jacket is $19, it's $19 per puffer jacket. Okay, so it's the unit price. So if you try to bring this into the values, it's going to sum this value, right? It's going to sum all the values based on that, and that's exactly not what it actually means, right? If you sum sales volume, yes, then that's correct, because you're looking at a cumulative sales based on a given dimension. Whereas in terms of price, these are all unit prices, so summing them will give the wrong data. Okay, all right, so which is why I'm going to first go with sales volume here, but we will find a way to get another fact column over here as well. All right, so similarly, once this is done, I'm also going to just duplicate this and probably make another pivot table here real quick. Okay, so maybe by product category. Oh, product category is only clothing, so that's not going to work. What about seasonal? Yes, no. Okay, this is good enough. All right, and then we also have let's take another one. I think we can also take the category man woman category, which we saw earlier, right? So that's section. Okay, so that's that. And then one more, we can take another one, maybe the product seasonal. Oh, I think we didn't take product category, did we? We took product position, but we didn't take product category. Cool, so let's do that. Product position, product category, yes. Oh, product category is clothing. Okay, my bad. If we do name, there's going to be lots of products. So that's a little bit of a problem because the table is very big. But then I think we can just keep at it for now and then look at something else. Just let's go back to the data set and see. I think terms. Yeah, I think that should be a much better indicator. So let me do that. Yeah, that's better. All right. So Now we have four pivot tables. I just created them in quick succession, okay, and by just moving a lot of these things. All right, so ideally you would want to create one single pivot table first, have all your filters in place and everything, and then duplicate it easily and change the rows. But anyway, any which ways it will work. All right, so now what I'm also going to do is I'm going to add a filter on each of them. Okay, there are two things that I want to do here now after this. One is I want to connect slicers, and I want to filter all of these, and I also want to add another column. Okay, so how do we add another column here? So now we have sales volume as a fact table over here. Okay, but as I mentioned that this price is the unit price, but we have the total sales volume, right? So we have basic puffer jacket, the number of units sold were 2823. So now what I'm going to do is I'm going to get the value of this, which is going to be this into this, right? So 2823 into per unit price. So I'm just going to come here. I'm just going to come to this and I'm going to say total sales. And now you see that the color of the column changed, right? The color of the column changed, and then you have this over here. Okay, so before I do this, let me just undo this once again. And if I show you that you do not have this column here, okay, the last column that we have is section in all the pivot tables. Okay, so just keep this in mind as we will get back to this. So now when I do this, let's say I say total sales value. Okay, so you see there's a extra column that's come. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take this into this, and you can see that not only for the first column, but it has populated values for all the rows on this table. Okay, so if I just go down to the last value, see it has actually populated even beyond that, right? But we have 253 rows, right? So it has populated till the last value, right? So these are some of the advantages of having the table form as your raw data set, because you can quickly come up with new columns and add the calculation effectively for all the rows. All right, now if I come to the pivot tables, let's say I come here, I'm going to refresh this. Okay, I'm going to refresh this, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to click refresh all. Okay, so I think it's still refreshing, and yeah, I think here we go, we're done here. So I'm just going to click this pivot table and get back the field list again. So we're going to see if the new column that we created, which was total sales volume, if that is appearing on our field list or not. Okay, I think it's still refreshing, there's still some calculation going on. All right, I think we have been now. Yeah, so I have the field list, and now if I see here, you can see that there is a total sales value column. Okay, so whether I'm on this table, whether I'm on this table, or this table, right? So you see how easy the data refresh is, right? You added an entire new column into your table data set, and all the pivots, okay, with just a click of a button got refreshed with the new value. All right, so this is the advantage of doing it this way, because if you have multiple pivot tables like this in a given sheet, instead of going and refreshing each one of them individually, you can do it in the table sheet format on your raw data, and then use that as your source, make all the pivot tables of it, and then if you have to refresh anything, it just refreshes quickly. All right, so what I'm going to now do is I'm going to get that value added to all the pivot tables. All right, so there you go, we have this. I come to this table, we have this, boom, we come to this one and we add this, and we add this. Okay, so everywhere I'm getting now the sales volume and the total sales value. Okay, which because it's United States, it's all going to be in dollars. All right. All right, so now you saw how easy this was to add a new column into your raw data and then refresh the data into all the pivot tables that come out of it. All right, now what I'm going to add to these pivot tables is an extra and it's an extra category which is called seasonal. So let's see, what do we have in seasonal? So we have a yes and no. Okay. Promotion, what do you have in promotion? Again, yes or no. Okay, I think let's add both of them. Yeah, I think we're good there. Okay, so I'm just going to add both of these into this into the pivot tables. So promotion and seasonal. Oh, I think seasonal is already this one. It's already a category over here. Okay, so I'm not going to use promotion. I'm not going to use seasonal. Then I'm going to use just promotion. That should be sufficient for us. Okay, so I'm just going to go for promotion here and the same over here. All right, a single filter. Okay, so now everywhere you have a single filter which is called promotion in all the tables. Okay, because you want to see what the difference in the value is when a promotion is applied and then there was no promotion applied across each of the 4 dimensions. Okay, but instead of doing this all individually, like let's say I want to keep it no for everything or yes for everything. Okay, so instead of doing multiple filter changes across all the pivot tables, what I'm going to do is I'm going to connect a slicer over here. Okay, so what's the objective of a slicer over here? A slicer is like a menu box, right, where you have the options and you can just click the option or options that you need and you can filter the data efficiently. All right, so let's see how we're going to do that. So if you just click on any of the pivot tables here, and if you come to pivot table analyze, you can see that there is an insert slicer. Okay, so I'm just going to click that. And now you see there's a window open here, right, with all the values, the dimensions and the metrics. Okay, so now in this case, if you see, all our filters have only one dimension, which is promotion. So I'm just going to click that. And as you can see that there is a box that comes over here with all the options. No, yes. Okay, blank is ignored over here. So but I'm essentially going to get no and yes. So why does this blank come? This blank is coming because I selected the entire table. The entire table is getting selected here, which also means that there are no values. The ones that are there are no values for, even that is coming as blank, right? So that's why there is a blank option that's coming as well. Okay, so it's going to be a no and yes. So we'll just focus on this and ignore this one for now. All right. Okay, so this is the slicer created, but if I click no, you see that no only changed for one pivot table, right? If I click yes, see, it only changed for one pivot table. Okay, but I want this no and yes to get toggled for all the pivot tables in the same instance. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm just going to first let me select all of these. Okay, I'm just going to select all of these. Okay, actually no, let's cancel the filter and select all of these. Okay, so now what I'm going to do is I'm going to come to the slicer tab. So when you create a slicer, you're also going to get a slicer window over here, and you can do a lot of customizations in terms of styles, in terms of height, width, and all those things, right? Slicer settings are also there where you can change the name and add some settings and things like that. Okay, so in the slicer window over here, you can see report connections. So I'm just going to click that. And now you can see that all the pivot tables that we've added, right? There are 4 pivot tables over here. Okay, so all those 4 pivot tables are showing up over here. Actually, let me just change the name of the sheet first. I'm going to write it as pivots. Oh, pivots is already taken. So pivots Zara. Yeah, that's a good one. All right, so I'm just going to come here, report connections, and now you can see there's one checkbox over here, right? This one checkbox corresponds to this table where we saw the values change when we selected the options in this box. Okay, what we need to do is we need to just check it for all of them. Okay, so when you check it for all of them, what happens is this slicer gets connected to all the tables. So whatever tables are clicked over here, let's say you have like 10 tables over here and you want this filter to only come for 4 tables, so I'll only check the 4 and ignore the rest. So the slicer will only work for those 4 tables that are chosen. All right, so we've chosen in this case we have chosen it for all our tables. I'm going to click OK. Okay, so we have the slicer connected to all of them, and now when I click yes, now you can see that all the tables have changed. Everywhere the selection made is, okay, I excluded yes, I'm sorry, so no gets selected, right? So everywhere what selected is no, I excluded yes. Okay, so no and no. Okay, if I click yes instead, so I'm clicking yes instead now, so everywhere the filter is changed to yes. Okay, so you're seeing all the values now for where the promotion is equal to yes. So within just a click of a button, I change the filters on all the pivot tables and it's giving me the numbers accordingly. And you can also see, verify that with the grand totals on all of them. Okay, so all the grand totals are also the same, right? So you know that there's no numbers being missed or no filter acting different from what we expected to do. All right, so in this way you can connect your pivot tables, you can connect your pivot charts. We will do a separate video on pivot charts and do the same thing where we can put a common filter like this or filters, and then we can modify the graphs based on the insights required. Okay, so similarly you can put multiple filters for multiple dimensions across all of them, and you can have them all these boxes, you can have them side by side. So you do not have to go and filter them individually, right? You can just have these boxes handy and you can just play with them on the surface so that you can see what numbers are being given to you based on your selections in the slicer boxes. All right, so I hope this video was helpful. I hope you can use it in your day-to-day work. Please do like this video if you found this helpful. Please do share it with your friends who think might be able to use this for their work and to make things simpler for themselves. All right, and please do subscribe to the channel as well, as I'll be coming up with more data related content like this over here, and we will also look to doing some different kinds of series as well, just like the one we're doing right now. All right, so until the next video, this is me signing off. See you.